Hello and welcome everybody to the Reign of Jafar set champs here at House Rules Gaming. We are getting ready for our top 8 match. Uh we did our little poll. We're gonna go see Jake versus Marcus starting off. I have Byro be with me in just a minute here. He's finishing up with the stream setup and getting the players all set up on the stream cameras. I am super excited. This event has gone so well today. I couldn't ask for better. Even if the issues that we did run into, we fixed very fast thanks to our production man behind the chair, Brandon over there. We do really appreciate everything you're doing over there. Helps us out a lot. I'm super excited. I think our match right now, Jake versus Marcus. Marcus is on Emerald Steel, discard. We talked about a little bit. This is a deck that he has been toying around with lately. He's typically a Steel Song player, but he hasn't always played Emerald Steel. So we'll have to see how he does in this first match. And if Brandon, can you do a reminder and remind me, what is Jake playing again? Is he the Amethyst Steel?
Jake is on Amethyst Steel.
Okay, all right, that's what I thought. Thank you for that. Yeah, Jake's on Amethyst Steel. So this is a relatively interesting matchup. Discard Amethyst Steel, having Amethyst as its color pairing does draw cards pretty well. But the one issue that Amethyst Steel can run into is running out of cards in their hand, running out of gas. Emerald Steel is looking to further push that advantage by making them do it a lot earlier than they would normally would. So I wonder how Jake is going to figure out how to navigate and get Marcus how is Jake going to navigate Marcus making him discard a bunch of cards? So we'll have to see how that goes. You can hop in anytime, bro. It's fine.
Yeah, we're hopping in back.
I think our players are just about ready. I think we're getting ready in just a second here. I think we're all set. I think players are ready. We're gonna go ahead and switch over to the gameplay stuff. Yeah, they're just getting ready. I think they're just about to start doing altars and all that kind of stuff. Do you have any thoughts on this matchup here, Briar? It is Amethyst Steel versus Emerald Steel.
Ooh, Amethyst Steel versus Emerald Steel. Ooh, this is going to be actually a really interesting match. I kind of like this one. This sounds like it's going to be a fun one.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, like I said, I was just talking about how we've talked at length sometimes about how Amethyst Steel, depending on the version that you're playing, has issues with cards in its hand. Sometimes it just feels like you run out of gas and you don't actually have you're not able to keep up the pressure. And Emerald Steel is just going to accentuate that. And I wonder how Jake is going to deal with it and try to keep cards in his hand, keep gas coming, keep putting a pressure to Marcus.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be a thing to deal with and to look out for on how they're going to answer it. It's definitely a big thing to watch out for.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, I think it was like the discard version, if I'm correct, of Emerald Steel is more kind of focused on that. So yeah, it's the more discard heavy version. And then of course we have the Amethyst Steel, which is your typical like we were talking about, the ones that just keeps gaining lower pretty quickly and just by just playing your characters, which is great.
I think that's one of the things that Jake's gonna have to do is like he's going to have to aggress Marcus as quickly as he can and then just hope he can win the game through his triggers, because Marcus can't actually interact with lore at all. It's not like Pirate's Life or anything is going to come down and steal it from him. So he's hoping that he's just like, okay, I'm hoping to get to like 15 pretty fast and then just go, here's my White Rose and my Goat and all that kind of stuff. We're kicking off our first game here of top 8. I am super excited. We're seeing Diablo coming down on this first turn.
Yeah, Diablo coming down, pretty common card to be playing here on turn 1. I mean, it is going to be one of the most common ones. But now, of course, we see one Diablo. Now we see the other Diablo. And this Diablo is going to look at the hand, kind of just seeing what is he going to be going into. And Marcus is just trying to figure out, okay, maybe seeing what type of purple or Amethyst Steel that he is going to be playing and what what's going to be the best optimal play for the next turn.
Yeah. I think Jake has a Smee in his hand right now. I can't tell what that card is off the. He might be looking at a Calhoun too.
The far left is going to be so Smee and a Dock is that he has in his
Yeah,
hand.
I think he's got a Calhoun in his hand.
A Calhoun too,
Okay,
yeah.
that's the one. I like this play. Calhoun just always threatens, like Diablo into Calhoun always threatens, like, hey, you wanna attack my Diablo? I'll attack with my Calhoun, and I'll trade or do whatever. I'll gain lore for it. Makes like wanting to challenge this Diablo like real awkward. But Marcus could have the shift, and then he could take out this Diablo, and Calhoun can't do anything about it. But I don't think I think I see the. Oh no, he might have it. He might have the shift. I think he does. Gets the cove
Maybe.
down. Moves the bird. Yeah, I think he's got it. I think he just has to pitch.
Oh yeah,
I
he's got
think
to
he's got
ditch
to pitch
that.
Bruno for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think he has a. I don't think he has an action thing with it. So he might just challenge the Diablo.
He could, or he could just quest here and just kind of gain some lore. Because I mean, there's really no way for him to answer this Diablo at this moment because it is having evasive, and going forward, he can't really challenge anything invasive right yet. There's
Yeah.
nothing in the deck for Jake here that can answer a quick evasive stuff besides like maybe a Baboom. He might be able to play this Baboom that he has in the deck, but it doesn't look like he has any in his hand. So he can't really be doing that here right now.
Yeah. I would be if I were Marcus, I'd be a little bit worried about like Jake's reach in gaining lore. Like I would want to stop him from doing it as soon as possible at any avenue I can, and then obviously strangle his resources with all of my discard. Like I never want to let him get more than he. If Marcus can limit it, I would like to see Marcus limit it as much as possible because you never want to get blown out by like Amethyst still just going here's go. Yeah, I just let this Diablo sit around for too long and gain too much.
Yeah, no, that goats are going to be great. It's going to be tough to deal with, but good to have. But this Diablo is definitely going to be possibly sticking around for just a little bit longer here.
See what Marcus decides here. Thinking Tragic Beast, he does have a Sudden Chill in his hand and gets to play a Pete. Not the worst card to be playing into Amethyst Steel. They do have a ton of options to be playing removal. I believe Jake is only on Strength of a Raging Fire and Babooms. But it's never bad, especially against other steel decks, to drop Pete and say, hey, this turn you don't get to deal with my Diablo unless you have like your own evasive, and Jake is running thin on evasives. So
Yeah, no, there's not a whole lot, and this beat can definitely kind of stop some of the things, and like I said, stops that Baboom, just a easy knockout, and this crab can't really sing anything either, so it's just going to be good, and just prevent Diablo from really just being challenged, or not really challenged, but targeted for any sort of action being played at this point.
notably too here, I believe Marcus missed a draw trigger from Diablo. I don't think he realized he got one because his opponent. Oh no, I'm sorry. That only is on their turn. I don't know what I'm thinking. It's been so long since I've played a Diablo that I'm like, yeah, you just get to draw cards anytime they draw cards. Right now, it's only on their third. My fault.
Wow, you got a Pete.
Got another Pete.
We got a Pete here.
Yeah, it's Steel. They always play Pete.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever seen a Steel deck that doesn't play Pete.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
It's just kind of
actually, you know what? I think our round 5 didn't have
probably.
Pete's. I'm gonna say I don't think our round 5 had any Pete's. I may be wrong, but
Pete is just so strong that I kind of always expect if I see a Steel card get inked, I'm like, oh, I probably have to watch out for Pete's.
Oh yeah, Pete's are a great card to be playing against, especially when you have a. I'm not gonna say a heavy action format, but there is definitely a lot of action heavy decks out here right now with like Steel Song and Ruby Sapphire with the DKP version. Focusing with that half shark is definitely good ways to prevent that deck from really just taking a lot of control.
Marcus very trying to decide what he's doing this turn. This deck, Emerald Steel, like, its turns 1 through, like, 4 are so awkward sometimes, and he just gets to slam down the Space Pirate. This card is, pretty incredible. It does so much. While it's exerted, opposing characters can't exert to sing songs, and pirate characters gain resist 1. I don't think there's many other pirate characters in here, but Pete gets that resist himself, and that's all that really matters. You're trying to make him just stick around enough. I guess prior showing he's got a Smee in there. That's his other pirate, which is relevant. Giving it resist 1 lets him ignore the end of turn trigger, which is nice. But Marcus is really just using it here as a big beater and not letting his opponents sing anything while it's exerted. It's disruptive. It's big. It sticks around. And Jake can't actually take it out unless he throws both characters into it right now. So he's got to decide if he wants to deal with this
He can't.
Pete or not.
I mean, well, it has resist 1. Never mind. I was thinking it's resist 2,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
no.
just-
Then yeah, he's got to send both of them into it.
See what he decides here. Notably, he has a Strength of Raging Fire. And so if he can get enough characters down, he might be able to.
But he has to
Push.
hardcast it.
No, because he has the Pete. He can sing it.
Oh well. No,
I
you can't
guess
sing
yeah,
because you got
I just said it right.
the space
He
pirates here.
can't sing
You got the
because
space pirate here,
yeah.
yeah. That's like, nope. Space pirate says no. You can't sing those songs today.
Yeah.
You gotta pay the full cost for that. No free singing. And there it is. We have to pay that full cost. Taking care of that Diablo, which is definitely a problem right now. Just giving more cards into Marcus's hand here.
I think we're seeing
It's gonna be
the
good.
classic Emerald Steel problem here of always seeing 2 docks in your or Amethyst Steel problem of always seeing 2 docks in your hand. Just happens every single time. You see 1 dock, you're bound to see another one soon.
Oh yes, and the nice thing is the cards he did draw were not bad. We have a genie and a goat in the hand, which is those are really good cards to have, especially. We are at that ink capability of doing that with 5 ink, and we can play it next turn to either play the genie to draw a card next turn, or play this goat to potentially gain a multiple lore throughout the game, which is really good.
Yeah. So he is going to take 2 things, take it out here. I do like this play. It still gains him 2 lore, pushes the lore a little bit, and clears Marcus's board. And we know, I think he's got a Sudden Chill and like a Storm and more Peats in his hand, which Jake doesn't care too much about these Peats. But this Sudden Chill could be pretty detrimental to Jake here with basically no resources and having it hit this Prince John, so he's going to be able to draw a card off of it. Pretty huge for Marcus. This is where like hopefully he starts to see more of his discard cards and really starts keeping Jake and say, hey, if you don't play what you draw, it's going away, and I'm going to keep drawing cards off of this John.
Yeah, no, this John's going to be definitely a nightmare to deal with if can't get exerted. But luckily enough, I mean, he is playing this Elsa, so it can't. Well, no, it has Ward, so you really can't do anything with it. So it's just going to sit there and do nothing. It's just going to let the opponent just discarding drawing cards. It's going to be a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah. Luckily for Jake, Marcus's hand is pretty unimpressive right now. He's got an Ursula, he's got a Pete. It's nothing too crazy. He does have a Storm, but it doesn't actually take anything out. And he can stop some of that with his own Pete that he's got in his hand. So like anything that Marcus does end up playing will probably get removed by this strength. Seeing another Prince John. I wonder if he tries to play it.
Yeah, could be an option, just to play this and kind of just let these cards just kind of sit down. And we do have the Ursula here to potentially get her song, and now we get to draw the cards, which is great.
Yeah, this is great for him. If he had to take a little bit of a gamble with this play, I guess what he could have done, no, because that would have taken the song out of his hand. I was gonna say maybe he could have played the Pete and seen if Jake had anything in his hand with the Ursula, but then he would have had to take it and only gotten 1 card instead of 2. So I do like the play Marcus made here.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a good play. And then we also now get to see another Space Pirate Pete in his hand. So this could be another good card to kind of play down here and make it so a little bit difficult to deal with for the pirate side of things. And it's also just a big body that can take care of a lot of the characters on Jake's board here.
Yeah. The only thing that's notable is can't deal with this Genie, and that Genie is going to cause might cause issues for Marcus because again he also doesn't have a ton of evasives to deal with it, and is basically has like it's basically just his removal that can deal with it, and seeing as Jake just played a Pete, it's gonna make it even harder for him to like remove it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely gonna be tough to deal with at this point. Because I mean, I don't even think there's any evasives in the deck besides the Diablo. I think it's the only card that really is gonna be able to deal with anything evasive.
Luckily, he is playing the muses, and he could keep bouncing it back with the muses, and even though that makes Jake draw cards, he's spending every turn paying 4 to get this genie out just for it to go back. Like at some point, hopefully, Marcus is just doing that to try to win the game instead of. Right now, it's a little questionable, but once Marcus gets into a position where if he keeps doing that, it'll win him the game. Like that would be good if he finds some muses or something.
Yeah, no, muses could definitely help out here. 'Cause you really don't really care about them drawing cards because you're just gonna make them discarded anyway with this deck. So it
Hopefully.
really doesn't matter about if you're just gonna bounce a character to the back of the hand because you're just gonna make them lose it anyway. So at that point, it's almost like just banishing the character from the field, just a little extra steps.
Jake here, I think, is back in top deck mode. Something I was talking about with Amethyst Steel. You just the amount of times you end up in the amount of times it's funny that the Amethyst deck always ends up on top deck mode. You just aren't playing friends typically. You aren't playing like um the main draw cards, and so you just end up not keeping a very large hand on you. But also, I mean, Marcus is making him discard cards, which is not helping anything there.
Yeah, no, but no, Amethyst still just top decks anyway for the most part. Every once in a while, you'll see someone play it and they'll just have like 20 cards in your hand. And you're like, how? How did you get this many cards in your hand? And you're only playing these options? It's quite interesting how some players can handle having no cards and some players handling 20 cards in their hand.
I think a lot of times if you see Amethyst Steel having a bunch of cards, they have a bunch of their 1-drops, and they have a library, and they just end up they spend like an entire turn moving a bunch and drawing a bunch of cards that way.
Now we just see questing out here with the genie and the Pete, gaining some more lore here, and going up to 11 to start getting in that double-digit range of, all right, I'm going to start questing. You're going to have to start answering it at some point. If not, it's going to get a little out of hand, and it will get me closer to 20 lore.
On 2 more. The scary thing is though, Jake is at 11, which is like I said, you really just want to get to 15 and then be like, okay, well, the rest of the game, as long as you're not doing too much, I can just get a couple triggers and win the game, especially with like cobras or goats and stuff like that. But Marcus does have a pretty sizable hand. He's got enough cards in here to make Jake concerned, and I think he does have a storm for this Ursula.
Yeah, he has it there ready to go.
He's had it for a while. I just haven't popped off on it because it never really mattered at any point, and he didn't want to waste his removal on just dealing 2 for no reason.
Yeah, no, there really wasn't a reason to play it. There's no real targets for it. I mean, the genie was a possible target, but I think there's some better ways to get into the genie, which he did with we don't talk about Bruno. That was definitely probably the best way to deal with that. And then, of course, we do actually have this Ursula down that can double sing songs, which is great. So we can have something sing and it can sing again, but instead we're actually going to have these Prince Johns sing the song. Did he play the Ursula this turn? I missed that if he did.
The 3-drop one.
Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, so
He
did
played
play
it this
that.
turn, but
Okay.
I think he wants to. Like I said, he's realized that his opponent's at 11, and if he keeps letting him quest without doing anything, he is running the risk of getting got by like white roses and goats and all these things that just trigger on enter, and not something that Marcus can inherently deal with. There's nothing to like stop those triggers.
Yeah, and we're in top deck mode here for Jake. He's just going through, trying to figure out, or just top decking everything since he didn't really have a hand, and being just discarding his hand the whole entire time. So you wanting to look for like another dock, a genie, and if we are playing some rabbits, which he is not playing any rabbits, he's only playing the genies and the docks as his main draw engine of the deck.
Yeah, I mean he's got the followers and the library and the brims, so and Diablos. Like he has a bunch of ways to draw cards and replace themselves, but nothing to generate him actual card advantage, like friends. Really has to rely on like library in that situation.
Well, it looks like Marcus is now coming back with the lore total here of he was able to get rid of the dock with, we don't talk about Bruno, discarding it and then being able to draw 2 more cards because of the Prince John, and then questing out with everything and putting him now at 9 lore. He's definitely catching back up in the lore game and trying to see if we can even win this next couple turns.
Gonna be very tough for Jake here. I think he's got 2 turns here, and not even. If he can't win like next turn or find something to deal with this board, I think this first game will go to it'll go to Marcus. I think he's realized that he's got no outs to this space pirate and all these Johns, so he's gonna scoop it up for next game. Like I said earlier, something to realize is just like, hey, I can't win this game realistically, and I'm gonna save the brain power. You know, these guys have been playing for this is our 6th round they'll be on. Like it's a lot, and they need to save their energy for the rest of the day here still.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's been getting along. I mean, we've been here since 10 o'clock this morning, and it is currently 4 o'clock. So we've been here for quite a while, and players are definitely getting to the time and ready to get some games over, and getting these games finished, and seeing who is the champion of Reign of Jafar here.
I will say it does not feel like it's 4 o'clock.
It does
I
not. No, it
do
really
not
doesn't.
feel like I've been sitting here since 10 a.m.
No,
or
it has not at all.
8:30 really for me since I've been in the building. Like does not feel like it, and that's always good. Is
It's like I just looked down at the clock and it's like 6 hours of elapsed time.
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay.
it's like a fugue state of like, oh really? Yeah, it's I'm glad because I know like some of these events can really wear on people, and I was a little worried today about my energy myself, but I feel great and ready to go. You know, we have 3 rounds left, so I'm super excited, super happy.
Yeah, no, this day's been really good. It's been going by, I'm gonna say fairly quickly. It felt like it's been going quick. It doesn't feel like it's been taking too long at all.
No,
And I mean, as we were setting up here, it still didn't even feel like it was the time that we woke up and got here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, it really didn't, and it feels like it's only been like 2 hours, if that, really.
yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's been long at all.
I don't feel like I've watched 5 matches.
No, oh yeah, no.
Like,
I mean now 6, but no, not at all.
yeah, no, it definitely doesn't. So we'll see Jake back on the play here again. I think his game plan is very simple and just end the game as fast as he can.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. He needs to end the game. Maybe look for a Baboom on turn 2 so that he can deal with a Diablo coming down. We know that's like what Marcus is going to be looking for on turn 2. But other than that, I think it's just simply go. Try not to fall underneath of Marcus's thumb again.
Yeah, no, I mean, you definitely want to try to get rid of some of these cards like the Diablos early on, because I think Diablo kind of helped get Marcus back for a little bit, and then finally closing it off with those Prince Johns is
Yeah.
really what closed the game out. Is as soon as those 2 cards stuck on the field and was able to get at least, I think he triggered like 3 times, I believe. Both of them triggered at least 3 times.
Yeah.
And that was 6 cards. 6 cards that was drawn.
He
That's
drew upwards
crazy.
of like 8, even just
Um,
with the other drawn alone.
Oh yeah, no, it was some crazy draws, and that alone I think just helped him get back
No, for sure.
into that game, and where Amethyst Steel just doesn't quite have that later game card draw
Yeah.
advantage.
It doesn't want to grind out with its opponent. It can do it a little bit, but it does not. It doesn't want to do it a ton. A bird in Marcus's hand. He has the shift here that he can use. I think he's got another action for this bird too, so he's inking this Bruno. You know, one of the things at Emerald Steel, I try to play it, and I see every Bruno in turns like 1 through 3 when I can't play it, and then when I normally in the game, they're not there. It's very funny to me seeing Marcus do the same thing right now. He's got 2 in his 2 in his hand. Well, 1 he inked and 1.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I have my fair share of cards you're seeing multiples of, and opening hand, and not really wanting them, but you know,
they're
kind of
there.
stuck with it now.
Yep, unfortunately. It happens though. That's what card games are all about. I think we're gonna see Calhoun come down here from Jake. I wonder if he's gonna try and keep this library. I know he's debating it, and library is one of those cards that's actually very good against Emerald Steel. They just don't have great ways to deal with locations, especially early in the game. And I think it's a card that could help Jake. Like, oh, this is gonna sit here. It's gonna cause problems. Um, you're gonna have to deal with it at some point. And even if Marcus does deal with it like a space pirate, it's a turn that Marcus isn't doing anything else, and that's fine with Jake. He wants to protect his board by making Marcus look at other parts of the board state.
Yeah. And we of course see Calhoun coming down on turn 2. Kind of typical here. As Jake plays it, and then we see a Shmi on our Marcus's side here, and debating if we're going to shift, and we are going to shift into our good old friend Diablo, and questing for 1, and going to be drawing cards now. We are going to be drawing cards.
Diablo, such a strong turn too. I think Marcus missed his lore on the tracker. We'll get him to do it in a second here. Not too big of a deal. We'll get it, but it is 1-1 right now, pretty early in the game, so it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Now is when Jake has to decide what he's doing. This is the turn I would have liked to see library. Unfortunately, Smee makes library a little bit tough because oh well, now he's got an actual strength character. But I still think it's enough of hey, you still have to deal with my library, and if it takes you 3 turns to do it while you're not questing, that's fine by me, right? Totally okay with that.
Yeah, no, and the Shmi could definitely take out this Calhoun now, so which is going to be good. So if this Calhoun decides to ever exert to either challenge or quest, this Shmi can kind of just take it out. And I mean, it's a trade. It's not a trade you want, but it's a trade that's definitely really good to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's on Jake to take the Calhoun or take the Smee out with Calhoun, or even actually he can't. This is where Jake has to decide. Marcus has played this Ursula, quested with Diablo. I think he's trying to decide if he's going to quest with the Smee, and he doesn't. And this is where it gets interesting. Now Jake has to decide: am I questing with both of these things? Because he didn't quest with Smee, and that kind of signals to me, hey, he probably has some kind of removal that he's planning on singing with this Ursula. And do I need to quest and get the lore with them while I can?
Yeah.
Now it's funny enough that I know Marcus actually has Prince John and a sudden chill in his hand. So just kind of keeping this Smee back. Hey, I'm gonna try and bait you into either making so I can take out your Calhoun with my Smee, or making Jake make an awkward play around not doing something you would have expected him.
All right. And of course, we see the Ursula Deceiver of all singing Sudden Chill here. And since Prince John is on the field, guess what? We get to draw 2 cards.
This Prince John. Jake's got to find a way to deal with it, and unfortunately, he doesn't. Ward is just so troublesome for a lot of decks to deal with. We'll have to see if he can get away with getting away with this John. Maybe Marcus doesn't see nearly as many of his discard spell or discard actions or anything like that. And at least he can take out the Ursula with the Calhoun. So he can get rid of that menace and oh, I don't have to deal with more sudden chills or anything like that. But I also wonder if maybe Ursula's done its job and he actually needs to take out the Smee. I mean, he can do both next turn, right? He has the Pete and Calhoun.
Yeah, he has both ways to deal with it. I think that Calhoun going into the Ursula is probably the best option, and then taking out that Shmi with the Pete would probably be the better way to go. Just because that Calhoun gets to stick around a little bit longer if it challenges into Ursula, because she does have 2 strength, but Calhoun has to resist 1, so it kind of just sticks a little bit more.
Oh yeah, I mean you want to take as many things out with his Calhoun and not let it get banished. So yeah.
And we actually see Pete singing Strength of a Raging Fire, putting it down on the Shmi. And then we get to play Doc. And Doc actually gets to do some things. We actually get to see Doc discard and drawing 2 cards, past in the events. We have not seen this Doc do hardly anything. I think it only triggered twice in the games that we've seen it to play today.
I think so. We've seen a lot of docs played, not a lot of docs triggered. And notably, this doc didn't have a doc with it, which is also
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Now, I don't know what the 2 cards that he got.
Strength and Goat.
Okay, those are actually pretty good options.
They're
here.
not bad, yeah.
That can definitely take care of whatever character is going to be played next that doesn't have a ward, like Prince John. But we do get this Goat as well, and the Goat's going to be able to gain us some lore on enter and on leave, so which will be really nice.
In Marcus's hand here, he doesn't have a ton of like characters. He's got a bunch of actions in his hand. I think the other card in his hand that's a character is Pete, the referee. Other than that, he doesn't actually have a ton of characters, and that's might be where he starts to slip. Is like, yeah, he can, and he doesn't have a ton of ink. I think that's the other thing. Not having a ton of ink, not having characters in his hand. He can like, deal with one thing at a time, but it's not quite enough. And we know that Jake has an answer to this Diablo.
Yeah, there's an answer to this Diablo. It's going to be pretty easy, and of course we see Goat coming down here, gaining lore, and we're probably going to see this Pete sing the song here,
Yeah.
just to take out this Diablo, and pretty much just sit here and go, all right, I'm going to quest
Yep.
and see if you can answer it, because I don't think you want to send that Prince John into it.
Nope. Now he could take out the Calhoun with this Hidden Cove if he really wants to. He does not do it. I don't blame him. He could have if he really wanted to. But I don't think it's the biggest thing on his mind. I think he wants to get rid of the Goat, so his opponent's not bouncing it a bunch, triggering it a bunch, and wants to draw the card off of a Prince John here.
Yeah, no, that Goat can definitely, if it doesn't get answered quickly, there's ways to bounce it back, and there's ways to just for letting that character quest and just take out a couple things as well, because it does have that 4 strength, which is really big in some of these matchups and can take care of a lot of things.
This is where Marcus might start to fall apart. Like I said, he can answer one thing a turn right now. He doesn't have the ink to play multiple cards, and he just doesn't have any characters. And this is where like sometimes Emerald Steel just draws the wrong half of the deck, and you draw birds all day long that don't do anything. They can't sing, they can quest, but they can't challenge very well. Like this is one of those moments where Emerald Steel just shows that sometimes your cards are just weenies, and then you got to deal with it.
Yeah. But now we get to see we don't talk about Bruno. Once again, drawing some cards with that Prince John, and then playing this Diablo to see what cards we have in our hand, but which I don't think there's any cards in the hand at this point.
No, there's not.
A whole lot of looking at nothing.
And like again, Marcus is at like Zeus and just a bunch of removal basically. Like nothing is doing one thing a turn, and that's not quite good enough when his opponent gets to keep questing for 4 every turn because he doesn't have anything that can actually challenge anything relevant.
Yeah, no, and we get to see this giant cobra come down, and we don't get to use its effect sadly because there is nothing else in our hand, but it's still a big threat being a 4/4 here.
Yeah.
Coming down, and it's just going to be hard to deal with. And it can quest for 1, which is good. It doesn't give you the 2 lore, but you know what? Let it gain its 2 lore by just actually questing.
I mean, he's at Jake's at 17. He doesn't actually like care about the Goat.
Oh
like,
yeah,
the
no,
giant.
overall no.
He honestly could have kept it in his hand for next turn, to like maybe try to get Marcus, but also he's playing against Emerald Steel. So, like, I think he also just realizes, hey, I'm not gonna actually probably keep this card in my hand, so I'm just gonna play it and hope you can't deal with it. And I don't realistically know how much Marcus can deal with this board. He could challenge Diablo with his Diablo. Jake could draw a card. Honestly, though, if I'm in Jake's position, I don't know that I do. You're playing against Emerald Steel with a bunch of cards in its hand. They might have a sudden chill or hypnotize, and you don't need to play into giving them the exact answer they might need. Just say, yeah, I don't need that card.
Yeah, no, definitely getting some more cards at this point will be probably not the smartest idea, just because you are playing against that Emerald Steel, and you have a Prince John on the board. If a Prince John was on the board, it'd probably be like, oh, it's fine. But Prince John just
Oh yeah,
takes too much control of, cool, you have one card in hand? All right, you don't anymore. You never had one card in your hand. What one card?
My one card now.
Exactly. He's the captain now.
Yep, gonna challenge. See if Jake takes that card off the top, and he doesn't. Pretty heads up, like I said. I think not taking it here, especially because we know that Marcus has a sudden chill, but the chance that that Emerald Steel has a sudden chill is pretty high. I think typically it's like, oh yeah, they just have sudden chill all the time. Why not? Like that's just what the deck wants to do. They have sudden chill, hypnotize, Brunos. They have a bunch of ways to like make you discard a card. I even think Marcus is on the chip, the 3/2 that makes them discard a card. So he has like a bunch of ways to make his opponent discard cards.
Oh, believe me, I noticed that there was a chip in this list.
Oh yeah, our Chippendale fanatic over here.
One day I'll have mine.
Hey, at least the chip is seeing play in like real decks.
Yeah, Chip is doing pretty good. I mean, it's not just a fun little theme deck that wasn't a theme deck the last time I saw it, but it's definitely a good card nonetheless.
Oh yeah, I'm poking fun at our production guy Brandon. He loves playing the yellow Chippendales, and every time I see him play, he gets stuck with the 2/8 uninkables and can't actually play the game, and I find it very funny.
It's quite funny just seeing him go.
You
But
got
also,
your,
he just can't.
you got your
He can't
Chippendales,
go.
brother. What else do
Exactly.
you want? You didn't say you wanted to play the game. You just said you wanted your Chippendales.
Exactly.
Correct. Hey, look, I got to look at them a little bit more than I would have otherwise, right?
That is true.
Now we are going into game 3. Pretty important that Marcus is on the play here, which is nice for him. This deck always wants to be on the play. Letting your opponent go first, start questing again. This deck is a very reactive deck, but the advantage you get from going first and being a reactive deck is pretty high. So he's hoping that he can see a bunch of removal. He just needs to see a couple more characters than he did last.
Yeah, no, definitely seeing some of these characters this game would be really nice. And now we're trying to see what Jake can do while he is on the draw here, and seeing if he can maybe find some of those other like good 1-cost cards, and being able to stick around a little bit and taking care of whatever Marcus puts down, because that's going to be what he needs here, is just to answer that board and stick around, take out those characters, control a little bit, and then use those characters that get any enter abilities right out to gain those lore and go from there.
I know Marcus had the Shift Bird and say Shift Diablo and the Strength in his hand, or he opened it. I'm not sure if he kept it. Probably did. I think he only shipped 2 back. We'll have to see what he ended up grabbing. I think Jake's got a bunch of White Roses and the cards we've been harping on. They're like, hey, enter gain lore, which actually we didn't see a ton of last game, which is kind of ironic. The deck that's chock full of just like, hey, enter gain lore. I think we saw Goat.
Yeah,
The only one that triggered.
We saw one that actually triggered was Goat. We didn't get
Yeah.
to see the Cobra, but didn't get to do anything. But however, Jake actually altered all 7 of his cards.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
He actually put back all 7. So
He was
didn't keep
deciding.
anything.
I think it worked out for him.
Yeah, I mean, these
This
are some
hand looks
great
a
cards.
lot better. It's like 3 Smees in his hand, a Baboom. Yeah, this looks way better.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a really good spot here. And
not seeing Diablo from Marcus, that's huge for Jake.
Yeah, no, not having this turn 1 is definitely going to hurt.
Especially not getting his shift that he wants. Especially now he's seeing his sudden chill. This is looking very very detrimental for Marcus here. I hope he has something. Okay, that's at least something here. He is going to see that his opponent has 3 Smees in his hand with nothing to take with this Ursula. That's heartbreaking for Marcus here.
Yeah, no, this is definitely one of those things like, man, I have to deal with this. These Shmees are going to come down. I need to find a way to answer these Shmees. And then having that Baboom on top of that he has to go, okay, I need something that's stronger than 2 willpower so it doesn't get knocked out as easy and banished from Baboom. And it's going to be, he's definitely in a rough spot there.
Yeah, he's looking at a rough hand right now. Hopefully he can draw out of it a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what characters Marcus has in his hand. He might have a bird, but no, he's got a Pete. Okay, he's got a Pete. I think he does have a bird in his hand, the shift bird, but he can't play it really because he knows his opponent has a baboom. I think this turn he's got broom plus me, and I think I'm doing both of those things. I think he can. I think he can reasonably ink the Pete and do Smee and broom, and then next turn, play something quest with broom, play something, and draw a card off of it, which would be nice for Jake. Let's see what he decides to do here.
Well, we decided to ink this Elsa here, which isn't. I don't think it's a bad spot because there's a couple characters that have wars, so it might be a little harder to deal with. And we get to see a game referee, which is nice. So there's no real actions that are going to be played in case if that ever does happen, because we do have this other game referee Pete that from the opposing side of Marcus can sing any 3-cost songs. So that might be something to keep an eye on, and that's what I probably was a little worried about, is playing like a strength of a raging fire, or cut and chill,
Oof.
it lets a storm, all that type stuff.
Got a big old Pete.
Or you just do that. That's what works too.
Yeah, this Pete is a little difficult for Jake to deal with. It's not too bad though. He can like hopefully just get a couple characters down and deal with it with like a strength or something. I don't think he has one in his hand. He's just got the baboom. He can also probably take it down if he really wants to take it down next turn. He can like attack it or challenge it with Pete and play a baboom on it, and it's like not the worst. And then he can like play his Smee again, and he's not that mad about it. I don't hate that play. You don't care about this referee Pete anymore. It's done its job.
Exactly. Yeah, this peak doesn't really get to stick around too much longer. I mean, if you can bounce it and do some things, it's cool, but I don't know if that's really the right play. I mean, he does have another one in his hand for game referee, and which is all right. But now we're inking the Shmee, and we have a Shmee and a Turnabout followers left in hand with some other actions here, using the baboom to finish off the Space Pete here, challenging into stuff, and then playing our 1-drop characters here, and making sure everything adds up, and we're good.
I think he's getting these two down because he wants to draw a couple of cards for next turn. That's why I think he inked the Smee, realizes he has a bunch of Smees. He still has one in his hand, and then wants to just hopefully draw a couple of cards off of these. One drops that draw cards. Fortunately, he does not get to do it with one, but he did force Marcus to hard play this Let the Storm Rage on, and I think that is pretty good for Jake. You don't having him hard play instead of being able to sing it is like the best thing you could have hoped for on this turn. Doesn't even get to use all of his zing. Didn't sing it. Didn't really like progress the board state any. I think you're pretty happy with it if you're Jake at the moment.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got some ways to draw some cards, and we're good. And we do get to see a Prince John in Marcus's hand, and seeing if we could get to play this down, which is going to be great. And we see Broom questing, Magic Broom doing questing things, and potentially playing another card to then pop this Broom to draw some more cards.
Yeah, I think Pete's a pretty good play here. You can do Pete into Diablo is the one I would think about doing. Seeing what you draw off of Pete or off of the Magic Broom trigger. Maybe get the Smee down as well if you feel like the card you play is not worth it.
Yeah.
Didn't get to see what he drew off of that Magic Broom. Does play the Pete though. I don't like that. I like this. He just protects his board a little bit. Not that he's got a smaller board, but that's okay. He wants to make sure that he's preventing Marcus from doing too much.
Now we get to see this Beast Tragic Hero coming down and potentially drawing some cards if there's no way to put some damage on it.
Yeah, that's the scary thing for Jake is like, okay, I need to be able to put damage on this somehow. I think he drew a library.
He did draw a library for turn, yes.
I honestly might just play a library this turn. Jake can't, or Marcus can't deal with it. Like immediately. Can't take it out quite just yet. And if he does decide to take the characters out, then Jake is gonna draw a bunch of cards.
What's really nice is if it looks like he has 3 cards in his hand. He has a dock, a Shmi, and a library. He could play this library, ink the Shmi, and play a dock and refill his hand up a little
Yeah.
bit, and still have a decent board presence of a character and a location, which will be nice.
He could also just play library and move both characters there. But I was suggesting, like, there's a couple lines he has here, and I don't think he's mad about playing any of them, just to figure out what he wants to do.
Yeah.
What his personal preference is.
We see library being
Yep,
played. There's the
takes the
dock,
dock.
and then drawing the cards here. And we get to see a Baboom and a Genie from that. So that's not terrible. However, that Beast is definitely going to at least get 1 trigger off and getting him 1 extra card.
Yeah, but I think it's okay for a turn. It'll be. I don't think. I mean, Jake is like, I want to get rid of this thing as soon as possible, but Marcus might be under some amount of pressure to, like, oh, I need to challenge some things and get some things off the board before I start getting run over again, especially this library. If he doesn't, like, challenge it with the beast, is he going to lose too much power?
Yeah, we don't. Might lose too much power if that happens, but this Beast is still going to be able to draw some cards at least for a little bit. I mean, we've got, is that 2 Storms in hand, and we also have a Diablo in hand. I can't tell if that's a Zeus. Is the other slong it looks like in his hand? I think it's a Zeus. Along came Zeus, and then a Genie, I believe. So he's, or not Genie. I'm sorry. That's not even a Genie close. I can't quite tell what some of those cards were.
Yeah, trying to do it, but I can't quite figure it out. All right, we'll see what
The
Marcus
Diablo,
wants to
Prince
do.
John. I think that's a Zeus and 2 Storms. That's what that is.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. A hard turn for Marcus here. He really has to decide, like, what he wants to focus on. So he's gonna start with just hard playing his Let the Storm Rage on. Again, not something you really want to be doing as Marcus. Like, hard playing your removal is just so bad for this deck. You really, really want to be singing it. If he tries to get, like, his Prince John down here, he does end up getting it down. Wants to start maybe drawing some cards off of it with the Hypnotize he drew and that kind of thing. And hopefully drown Jake into some amount of card advantage here. Deciding. All right, off to Jake here. Gets his library trigger, and that's the one thing I'd be worried about as Marcus is, like, is he ever going to be able to take this library out? Jake has the opportunity to. He almost has the opportunity to actually just take the beast straight out with the strength in his hand. I don't think he will. Quite yet, but he's pretty close. And he's probably going to ink a card here and baboom something to get damage on the beast, so it's not drawing him cards. But he might leave it alone simply because he doesn't want him to take out the library.
Yeah, that could be an option there.
Nope, he stings. Okay, so he uses both strength and baboom. Goes ahead and takes out the beast. Pretty smart from him, knowing that he had both of those things. Does sting to give up 2 of your best removal in this deck to do it, but when Marcus is looking at a pretty thin hand himself and not a lot of characters, I think it's okay on Jake's, especially because he has this library. Hoping that this library kind of gets him there in the end, and Marcus doesn't find a ton of healthy characters that can start to challenge this library.
Yeah, this library is going to probably stick around for a little bit longer here.
For sure. Even if Marcus doesn't take it out now, it's going to stick around for 2 more turns. Over the course of the next couple of turns, it'll gain him at least, like, 3. If he doesn't find, like... I mean, he has a Zeus in his hand, so he could use that to take it out, but then he's not using it for the characters, and that like having to split his resources is kind of what I was talking about earlier with this library. Like you really don't want to have to split your resources like this in Emerald Steel. You really want to just be able to nail down like the characters. So dealing with locations is just not what you were doing.
Yeah, no, dealing with locations is going to be I think one of the roughest things, unless if you do have that beast. But here we are, just going to move everything at the location because why not? And now we get the quest for 4, and the library gets to basically draw them cards if any of those characters are gone at this point.
Yeah, and Marcus here has Zeus, so he could take out the library, but then he still is staring down a genie and everything. This is a really tough spot for Marcus here.
Yeah, but we do get to see we don't talk about Bruno taking care of the genie, bouncing it to hand, then discarding it, and then Prince John being able to draw a card because there was a card discarded.
He might be able to. I think he has a Smee in his hand, and he could play it and then sing with Prince John to take out one of these other characters, as if he wants to, and keep Jake off of as much pressure as he has. But he is going to draw a card for it. Yeah, I didn't see it.
I didn't see what the draw was. No, I didn't see it.
I think he just quested here. Okay. Oh, it's a giant cobra. Oh, that's scary. So Jake's going up to 15 this turn, and 16 with the quest from the dock, and has another library. Holy!
Wow.
I think you just play both of these cards. You make it really tough for Marcus to deal with everything. I don't know that Marcus gets through two libraries with the board state he has.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a play field that's just going to be rough. I mean, 2 libraries and then this Cobra that can quest for that last one if needed. I mean, he has game here on board. He has to answer this dock some sort of fashion. But when he does, Jake gets to draw a card and just replaces it and potentially grabbing any of his other cards that get a on-enter gain lore effect, which can be very devastating here. And that's might be all he needs just to win the game here.
Yeah. He does. Okay, so he's able to take out 1 library, but it's just not. I don't know if it's quite enough. I don't know if he has. Does he have any other removal in his hand? Okay, does have a way to get rid of the vanish. I think it's still not quite enough. I think if Jake sees anything that can get him a trigger, he's in.
Well, I mean, he needs a goat to come down. If he can draw a goat and have these 2 things, have the location gain him a lore at the beginning of turn, and then this dock quest that puts him at 18. And if we get to play a goat, that means that the goat's going to put him at 19. And if that goat leaves the field, game's over.
Yeah.
Goat would secure the win at this point.
I was just trying to do math on because you can't take this library out. Even next turn, he'd have to have another Zeus or something.
And we have a fox.
Oh, that's gonna be hurtful too. Be able to draw more cards with this.
Getting a fox and a goat.
And he got a goat.
There's
so
a goat. Not like that.
I mean, Marcus could
matter.
find discard to get it out of his hand.
I mean, but then he also has to answer the board.
Oh yeah,
and
it's a lot.
He's got
an uphill
too much
battle.
to do,
Yeah,
to answer right now.
100%. It's an uphill battle for Marcus. And he's just gonna throw this fox into something. Probably the John. Yeah, that makes
sure. Why not?
Take it out. Don't let him like find the out he needs with any kind of discard.
And then Marcus has got a Space Pirate Pete, and the card he drew was I can't quite see what the last card he drew.
It was a bird.
It was something, and there we are.
There
that is the
That's
game.
unfortunate for Marcus.
Man,
that's heartbreaking.
That was a very interesting game, I will have to say.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this was very well played by both players. Jake ended up just top decking just a little bit better towards the end of the game there, seeing both libraries, the fox to get the dock back. Like it was those last few turns were all just Jake ripping absolute gas off the top of the deck every time.
Oh yeah, and I mean those libraries, I would say almost kept the game perfectly where he needed it to be.
Yeah.
Just to have those out there, knowing that he can't really answer it all that well without like the Space Pirate Pete's,
Or Zeus.
and things like that was going to be a rough position for him. So having those libraries that were going to be really, really good.